What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show. I'm Corey Ensko, joined today by Matt Swift. How you doing, Matt?
Another win. I'm doing great.
I love it. Another way, doing great. We left David hanging last week to hang out with Jose solo. So I guess it only makes sense that he couldn't join us this week. So it's just me and Matt here today. We've got a lot of exciting things to talk about. As Matt mentioned, this is gonna be a really fun show. We've got Masters Week to talk about. So that's one thing we can talk about a little bit. We've got the national championship game happening as we talk. So we've got that to talk about. UNC basketball hired a coach today. So we've got that to discuss, among other things. What else? Oh yeah. And we won 2-1 against Philadelphia on Saturday. I guess we should probably spend most of the time talking about that. But if we want to talk about anything else that I just mentioned, we'll go there if we want to. But yeah, it was a wild match on Saturday that we can get into. I've still got clothes hanging up to dry after getting absolutely poured on during that match. But you weren't. We talked about this a little bit of pregame. We'll get to the actual match in a second. But you were not at the match. You were visiting Wilmington for the weekend, so you didn't get to experience the rain. Could you tell how hard it was raining from the TV, or what was your experience?
Yeah, it was so weird. I was down with my family, and I turned the game on and was watching it with the little one in the first half, and then all of a sudden the announcers are like, "Oh, it looks like a little bit of rain coming," and then all of a sudden it was like a monsoon, and I was like, "I didn't know it was going to be raining like that." And it was just crazy how quickly it swept through, and I saw everybody trying to scramble to get to higher ground.
Yeah,
but that was very unexpected.
It was. I mean, Apple weather is what it is. Don't come at me with your Apple weather takes because I know it's terrible, but that's what I use. So we've been looking at it. We're like, there's some dark clouds, but there's no chance of rain that it's calling for, so we should be okay. Yeah. And so we're sitting in there, and so now we have our two kids with us. So it's like not just me and Courtney; it's the two kids too. And it starts to rain a little bit, and so my youngest and my wife duck under, and I told my oldest, like, totally up to you. I'm going to stay out, but if you want to go with them, you can. You want to stay with me, you can. She was like, I'll stay with you. I think she was like trying to put on a brave face, which was awesome. And then like 3 minutes later, it went from being like a drizzle to just an absolute downpour. And so I had to I basically ushered her into the concourse, found my wife and other daughter, dropped her off, and then looped back out. And it was like me and two other people in my section. Kevin, who sits in front of me, stayed out there with me. And then one Philly fan with a scarf draped over his head was really cracking me up. He stayed out there as well. Everybody else was under the awnings, and that was it. And then there was
You're a trooper.
Supporter section I loved. They got so much louder. Like when this happened, most of them, it was awesome. Most of them stayed out there, and they got just way rowdier. Everybody who stayed out got so much louder. It was a fun atmosphere. It didn't hurt to have a goal while that was happening. But it was wild. And then the last thing I'll say about it is we had a group text going with me, you, David, and Jose, I believe was all in the group chat. And, Jose is, from Philadelphia. He was like asking us if it was really raining that hard and all that stuff. And I was talking about how soaking wet I am. David's like, I'm dry. I'm under the overhang. He just kept rubbing my face, how dry he was sitting under the overhang. So happy for him. But some unexpected weather, but it ended up being a really, sometimes like those rain games when the weather gets nasty and things kind of get crazy, it creates a different atmosphere. It makes for a really fun match. So that was a good time. But let's just dig into it a little bit. We'll kind of do our normal talk through some things. We do have screenshots this week. Don't worry. So we're going to bust out some screenshots. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, we'll bust those out. If you're listening, we'll do our best to explain when and where we're talking about things.
Also follow us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Follow us on YouTube.
Follow us on YouTube. It's great. You can look at our faces, which is fine, but you can also watch the screenshots and all those things, which is even better. So definitely check us out there. I guess we'll just do like we always do. We talk about kind of starting lineup. Felt like nothing surprising this week. We kept Gianni in after his performance against Red Bull the week before. Yeah. Everything else pretty much the same. Is that about what you expected from the team to kind of come out with this week? Did anything surprise you?
Not really surprising. Just, kind of nice that we had two matches back to back where we basically have the same starting 11. And it just shows just how well we played last match, and Dean was like, hey, let's go with it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, Philadelphia had Ben Bender on the bench, which was I was hoping to see him play a little bit, but that was I saw him warm up right in front of me, which was great. We yelled at Ben a little bit, but I was hoping to see him a little bit, but they did not start him. Anything from the Philly side on their starting lineup or anything that jumped out to you about kind of how they came out?
Not really. And I got to say, I was really worried about this game, honestly, because Philly is typically a very good side.
Yeah.
They really were last season. And, usually, I think they were like 0-5, right? Coming in. This was our 6th game, right? If my math is mathing.
Yeah.
I'm like, you think at some point they're due. And I'm like, oh, no, man, we got a tough game coming up against Nashville. Is this the game where we kind of get bit a little bit, especially taking a week off from like the super high that we had? So I was a little worried, but man, Philly, they're just really a struggling side right now.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. We can talk. I think some of the questions will allude to this maybe a little bit as we get into it. But yeah, I mean, you look at, and they talked about, and I should say, Jose and David talked about this a little bit on last week's episode when they were previewing the match. Like you look at the record, and if you don't know anything about Philadelphia, you're like, oh, this team's terrible. Like this should be like an easy big win for Charlotte, and da-da-da. Maybe it should be, but like Philadelphia is always dangerous, and they've still got. I mean, I know they've lost some pieces, but they've still got a ton of talent in that squad. And so like, I don't care what their record is right now. Like Philly coming to town is always one. It's like, all right, we got to lock in. Let's be focused on this. Don't overlook it. And I'm sure that was a message to the team and all those things as well. But you can say what you want about like, oh, they're terrible this year. We should have won bigger and da 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 da. It's like, no, Philly's good. And I wouldn't be surprised if come, October, they're in the mix of the playoffs somewhere. It's hard to start out with 6 losses and get there, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they're still like in a playoff team come October, unless just Bradley Carnell has some kind of curse about everything after season 1. Like I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, just for anybody who's
give you one
anybody doesn't
year.
know, like he was the coach at St. Louis in their expansion year, and they were amazing, and then fell all to pieces after that. So. This is not. This is something he's done before, but it's interesting. And again, like I was also a little bit worried about this one. We play them well at home for whatever reason. We do play Philly really well when we play them at home, so that was some confidence building. But definitely one I was worried about on the schedule, and hoped we came out really strong there. So I just want to break this into like pre-rain and post-rain because I do think weather can change a match in a situation like this, like I mentioned. So pre-rain, those first, like, I don't know, it was like 20, 25 minutes. How did you feel about how the team came out and started the match there?
I thought we played great first 25 minutes. We didn't score during that time, of course, but
sure.
I really thought we were moving the ball well, controlling the game, not making mistakes, being very crisp, and just looking very like solid. And watching that, I was like, okay, this is really good stuff. Even though, again, didn't put the ball in the back of net, that's, whatever. I was like, we're going to score. Like this, we are looking really, really solid. So very, very happy with how we came out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like we unlocked something in the past, several weeks of this team. Finally, it seems like they look like they know what they're doing when they come out. Like I feel pretty confident with the team. Some of those first matches, I didn't feel very confident. Everything looked kind of sketchy. But I do feel like we're at a place now, kind of like you said with the starting lineup. Like we have a solid lineup 2 weeks in a row. We felt like we came out with some confidence, looking good. So yeah, I agree. It looked solid coming out. Felt good about where we were. Was a little worried about the kind of the layoff of having a week off. You never know how that changes things, but felt good about the way the team played, opening things up. Anything you want to talk about before the first goal? Or do you want to get right into goal 1?
No, let's get into it.
I will say there were some. I just asked you that question, then I just jumped into something, and this will come up kind of throughout the thing. Even though I felt like we played pretty well, there were some real sketchy moments defending. And I'm watching the highlights as I'd like to do while we're talking about it. So I just kind of anything that I kind of forgot about. there was a very close offside call about 7 minutes in that we got bailed out.
At the very beginning
at the very beginning of the match that I'd blocked out because of everything that happened after it. But I remembered it when I was watching the highlights earlier, and it's just kind of triggered again. It was, and this kind of happened throughout the match. Like I felt like we controlled most of it, but there were still a lot of sketchy moments defending where Philly had some really big chances. And I think that's been something that's happened even in these games we've had success and had wins. And I don't want to be negative while we're talking about this winning run, but like there are some moments where Kalina's either had to save us or the crossbar has saved us or balls have whizzed right by the post and things like that. Like there's some danger moments here from a defensive standpoint. And there were plenty of those in this match as well.
No, I think you're right on. And it's still, even though we're winning these games, there's still some alarm bells going off, right? And we have been saved a little bit. But yeah, the first 6 or 7 minutes, there was that very close offsides call. When the ball went in, I was like, "Oh my God, are you? Yeah. This is going to be a horrible night." But luckily, it was offsides. But kind of going back to what you're saying, like we're about to go on this huge road trip, and I think we'll get punished more with those types of mistakes. Yeah. So we just need to be clean. I think some of the screen grabs I actually have later on to kind of talk to that, but it's a good point because even though we're winning, there are still moments where maybe we are getting a little lucky or Kalina's coming up with a big save. But so far we've been able to put the ball in the back of the net. So that always trumps all.
True. And that is the other side of it. Like we're creating a whole lot of chances here. And I mean, this is another match where there easily could have been a handful more goals that Charlotte scores had things gone the right way. Some we'll probably talk about in the second half. I know you mentioned that you wanted to talk about Abada, so I'm sure that'll come up a little bit there too. But we're also creating a lot of chances, which is good. We got to finish more of them, I think, even though we're still getting the wins. But we're creating a lot of chances, and that does make up for the occasional defensive lapses. But definitely something to kind of watch out for, keep an eye on. Right. First goal happens in the 30th minute, I believe, of action. The rain pouring down, bunch of shirtless dudes down in the corner of that side of the goal, which was really cracking me up. They're having a great time. I don't know who they were, but I loved it. Loved the energy happening down there. They're right in the background of the shot when the goal goes in. Do you want me to go ahead and pull up the screenshots? Or is there anything you want to say about this goal before we get into kind of talking through what led up to it?
No, I think the screen grabs will kind of allude to all the things I want to say about it.
Okay, I'll pull it up. I will just say I'm very happy to see Westwood get this goal. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So let me pull up this this screen grab so we can kind of talk through what works out here. I just really enjoy that this is the first screen grab from 28:56 on the clock, and it just says, "This is the way." Which I hoped you had a screenshot of this because this pass was awesome. So I'll let you take away to diagram it.
Yeah. So for those that are not following us on YouTube and not watching there, so Tim Ream has the ball in our own half, and instead of if you're looking at this screenshot, you've got Toffolo out wide, which would have been a pretty decent pass because he's advanced and by himself. He could have passed it to Morrison. He could actually just passed it to Gianni, who's just literally, maybe 10, 15 yards away. That would have been probably the safe pass and what we typically do. But what Tim Ream does is he splits the midfield and bypasses it completely to Zaha, who is through the channels. And I don't know how many times, if you've listened to the show, I have always said, I wish we would play through the channels more. And so I jumped up when Tim made this pass because that's the type of thing that I think we need to see more of. And that's why I'm saying this is the way. This is how we need to beat teams, especially as they're coming forward and trying to press us some. But this is how you make things happen. And, this goal does not happen unless Tim makes this pass. If you go to the next frame, Corey, Zaha one times it, lays it off to Pep, and you see Pep's in a good pocket of space. Philly kind of caught. I think Philly was really caught off guard by that pass from Tim.
100%. To your point, it's not a pass we do. Like, that's not something you see us do very often. So I don't think they were expecting that pass at all. I think they fully expected it to go to Gianni in the middle or Tofolo or anything like you said. Like, that's not a pass we do. And so I think just bypassing the midfield like that totally caught them off guard here. And this little touch by Zaha was beautiful. There were a few of these in this match too, like where we had some nice little one-touch passes that I was really appreciating.
And this works even when, you'll see, and we do it too. Our defense will compress to the middle, and that's what Philly is doing here too. Mm-hmm. So they, a lot of teams will like to give space out wide, and that's what Philly has done. And so, I mean, the easy, maybe even kind of a smart pass would be to have passed this out to Tofolo. And again, that's what we normally done. Mm-hmm. But instead, we're a little bit risky and creative, and it's a really good pass off. And then, Zaha one-times it to Pep, who dribbles right into that space where there's no defenders. And then I don't think I have another screen grab after this, because basically what happens. Oh yes, I do.
No, you got more.
I've got one. I think this is the last one, because Zaha lays this ball off to Pep, and I don't know who the hell makes this type of pass. If you go back and watch it, Pep is he makes this weird looping, curling pass to Toklamati, which makes no sense. That's why I called him, and it's on the screen, I called him a wizard there, because I don't know exactly how he saw him or thought that this was. I mean, I thought he was going to play a through ball to Zaha, which, could vary. Or, again, out wide to Tofolo.
Out wide, yeah.
But makes a more direct, dangerous pass to Toklamati. Now, we get a tad lucky. Toklamati traps this. It kind of gets poked away, but Toklamati gets back to it and lays it off for Westwood, who ends up finishing this off and is a really, really good shot, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but again, I wanted to highlight this specifically because I think, again, this is the way. This is how I think we should be playing.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be always going out wide all the time. And again, I think maybe this is how Dean wants to play. Tuck Zaha in a little more and have your wingers overlap. Again, you got to be careful in transition defensively if you turn the ball over. But yeah, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I feel like we've broken down things like this before. I think what shows in some of these things that we're doing is the amount of options that players have when they're on the ball in an attacking situation like that. Because like you said, he could have easily played the through ball when you talk about Zaha, he had options. We're talking about Pep here too. He had options to either, give it back to Zaha as he's making the run down the middle. He can go out wide to Harry, and you're probably going to have three guys crash in the box, for Harry to put a ball into. Or he's also got the Tokamati pass, which is, I don't know how he did it either. When you actually watch a replay, it's pretty wild how he gets that over to him. But there's options. And crazy. then even then, when Tokamati gets it poked away and he gets, luckily he recovers it, but there are options crashing in behind him. So he's able to lay it off to Westwood to smash it into the corner of the goal. There just seems to be players being in the right spots way more often, more options, more chances to create some dangerous situations. And I just feel like I've noticed that a whole lot more this year than in previous years, and it's led to a lot more chances. Again, the finishing, I would love to see some better finishing in some places, but we're at least getting those dangerous build-up attacks that I feel like we haven't always had in the past in that kind of passing.
Absolutely.
To that point, do you think... I don't think anybody asked a question about this, so I'm going to ask the question. Because there are also some other places, again, where I saw some really nice touch passes. One from, I believe it was Vargas, stands out to me. That was just a ridiculous one-touch pass that he put off. It was, I guess, on his right side of the field attacking. I believe it was in the first half. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I remember just yelling when he did it because it was just a ridiculous little pass he put on. Is that just finally a comfort level? These players, when you're talking about Biel, Zaha, Tokamati, Vargas, between injuries and stuff like that, they haven't played as a full unit for that long. Are we finally seeing this unit really working well together? Is it something else? What do you think is leading to more of these dynamic scoring opportunities? And you laughed at that. I like it.
No, I'm just kind of laughing at myself thinking about some of this stuff. It's a really, really good question. I think it's a mix of, Pep was injured and out. We kind of had rotation with Vargas and Abada. And what made me chuckle is the pass from Pep to Toklamati makes me think they're starting to know where their teammates naturally go.
Right.
And I don't want to get too far ahead, but the second goal too,
yeah,
Pep's assist, again, it's like, I'm gonna just chip it into to our other DP who's awesome. It's those types of things. I think a little bit of a lot of natural ability, but playing together and knowing who's where and what they could do. But yeah, I think it, and I think maybe some coaching too of like, man, we've got to move and get in better spots, and maybe they're probably more than likely watching all of our screen grabs and just that's probably not the case, but I'm sure they do watch game film and break it down and probably relay that to the team about moving better.
But no, again, I think you nailed it. I think what you're seeing is you see some of this quick passing and things like that because they know where other players are going to be. And that's a familiarity thing or a system thing or whatever it might be. You're able to see that attack work better because they know where to expect a player to be. Whereas in the past, it felt like every time we tried to make a pass, we had to like think about where is everyone? What decision do I want to make? And it was just so slow moving anything forward. So again, that was a really nice goal to see. Love to see Westwood get a chance like that and just absolutely rip it into the corner. I was really happy for him to get that goal. That was awesome. So yeah, a really nice way to start, get up a goal, celebrate while we're soaking wet in the stands, and have a good time there. I had another thing. The only thing I was going to touch from the first half. Did you have something else you were going to touch on in the first half?
No.
I was going to talk about the Zaha breakaway that happened.
Oh, the one where he probably should have scored.
He absolutely should have scored, and I will give credit to.
That's right. That was the first half. You're right. Yeah,
that was the first half. So this was one. I believe it was like it might have been off a Philly set piece or something. We forced a turnover, and Philly's defense is just not back. I think they were all up forward for either a corner or a set piece or something. I can't remember what it was. But there's a clear breakaway.
It was a breakaway. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
It was a breakaway off of a set piece, I believe. I'm looking back at who it was. I think Pep made the first long pass.
Was it Vargas or was it Toklamati that laid it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
so Westwood, I'm watching that. Westwood ran forward. It's Westwood and Vargas basically on a 2-1. Westwood's ball to Vargas kind of slows him up enough that he has to basically wait for the ball to get to him. At that point, Philly has two defenders back. Zaha makes a run off to his left. Vargas lays it off for Zaha and does a great job. And Zaha gets past the defenders, one-on-one with the keeper. And has plenty of time at this point, too. He's one-on-one with the keeper, basically. He's got a defender behind him, a defender off to the right. But for all intents and purposes, like it's one-on-one. And I know we're going to praise Zaha a lot later. Like, that's got to be a goal.
Yeah.
Like, that just has to be. Like, the ball, I mean, not to take away the save from Blake. Like, he makes a nice save, but, like, it was in his frame. Like, he didn't have to make, like, some crazy dive. He just had to go down. And so that's why I'm like, you've got to find a way to get that into the side. I'm not making it sound easier than it is. I understand that. But, like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, man, he makes an amazing play later, but that one was tough to not get that second goal right there.
No, you're right. And I think if you have it pulled up, I think Zaha's starting to like, he does this thing where he's going to shoot far corner and he opens his body up, but he's kind of like falling down when he's taking these shots now.
Yeah.
Like he's falling away. And I think that actually drags the shot more towards the keeper, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. He seemed to be opening up like he was going to go to the side net, which was the way he should have. I mean, that was where it was open. But whatever he does, he pulls it closer to the keeper. It makes it an easier save.
He kind of, he does this like lean.
Yeah.
He leans too much, I guess. I've seen him do it a couple times. I think he did it last game, actually. I think he did the same exact thing. Yeah.
So again, it was just like another thing I wanted to point out. Again, in the moment, I was like, well, we're creating chances. I love that we're attacking. We're attacking. And again, I think it was Kevin who said to me, was like, that's got to be a goal. Like he was livid. And I was like, I don't know if I'm quite as mad as he was at the situation, but I agree. Like that's the kind of thing where like someone like Zaha, it's like, we got to put that in the back of the net. But again, he does a little bit to make up for it in the second half. But that was a big chance, like right before halftime to go up 2-0. And really changed the game there too. So
yeah, no, you're right.
All right. Nothing else from the first half in your book?
I don't think so.
Okay. Started to finally dry off in the second half. I think it stopped raining around halftime.
Yeah.
So people are slowly trickling their way back into the seats afterward. Beginning of the second half felt a little bit different. How did you feel about that kind of opening several minutes of the second half?
We played horrible. I don't know what happened. I really don't. Kind of to your point.
For that one. There we go.
If Zaha scores that second goal, I think then we have another route on our hands. Like there's blood in the water, and I think it would have been on, but we didn't, and allowed Philly to stay in the game, to make adjustments at halftime, and we just came out flat and nonchalant, and there were a couple of chances before they even scored.
100%.
Before Philly equalized. We just were slow and not really thinking. And it's kind of one of those things, again, like what we mentioned earlier, like these mistakes that we make are going to bite us in the butt, especially you do that on the road, or more likely to anyway. But yeah, I just think we were just not sharp. Passing was not sharp. Defensively, position was not great. And I would even say some of the subs did not work. Well, there's a caveat in there, but for the most part, it just wasn't clicking second half altogether. But
yeah, no, I agree. When we talk about some of those chances, I mean, there were some moments where the shots were not on goal, but they were fizzing by, posts and things like that. There were a lot of really good chances. Philly absolutely dominated that chunk of the game. Really until about when we scored the second goal. Like Philly dominated that whole second half period from the whistle to when we take the lead on the Zaha goal, which we'll get to. You mentioned the subs. So we had De La Torre come on for Gianni and Abada come in for Vargas at the 65th minute. At that point, it's still 1-0. And it seemed like you had some feelings about maybe those subs there. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if Dean was maybe like, all right, let's go for a little more. We need possession and a spark. I don't know. What we had wasn't working, but then what we put on also really wasn't working too much. Again, there is a caveat there that we will get to. Just we were off second half, and Philly could have easily tied this game, won this game.
Totally.
We had some individual brilliance to get all 3 points, but it was worrisome. And it's something that we really need to address and not let off and take our foot off the gas. And it was kind of a weird moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Kalina, once again, to talk about having people save us there. I mean, he had another great match, made some really big saves. Just always seems to be in the right spot. Like, it's incredible what he does from that standpoint. I mean, there were some just, rocketed shots at him, and he seems to be in the right spot, doing the right thing. And it's impressive to watch him in that position. All right. Do we want to get to the first Philly goal? The time? All right.
Let's do it.
I know we have some more screen grabs, so I'll get to those too. All right. Let me share these.
Yeah, this all starts with a throw in.
Yeah. We've got question marks going on here as well too. All right, so we're talking about the goal in the 78th minute. What kind of leads up to that? The first and only goal for Philadelphia here.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to just turning off and not just being set and sound and paying attention, right? Something that we've had a little trouble with. So again, this goal comes from a throw in. And I highlight Pep, and I love Pep to death. He can do no wrong except for maybe right here. Pep is, we're on defense, by the way. Mm-hmm. Pep is standing as if he might be getting open to take this. This throw.
He was ready.
He is not guarding a man. He is in between two guys. You've got Toklamati, who's not back. Westwood's not guarding a guy. It just, no one really seems to be, there's no communication. And we turned off. We literally turned off during this play. So if you go to the next frame, this ball gets thrown in. Morrison does a really good job of winning this in the air. The problem is where he put the ball. Mm-hmm. Where he put the ball is probably where Pep or Toklamati or literally anyone else should be up a little ways and maybe guarding a man. And unfortunately, this ball goes right to in the middle of a wide open player and sets this whole thing off. And I just don't understand why everybody's collapsed over on this side and then also just not marking someone. Mm-hmm. And it's a little play. We were already kind of like back on our heels. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand, like, hey, let's get sharp. Let's guard a man. Let's win this ball back. The thing is, Morrison wins this header, but if you go to the next frame, it goes to this guy who now has the ball, and they have numbers forward. We're all discombobulated, and he's going to make this pass out wide. And again, you got Morrison here in the middle. He's got to track back from winning the ball. And everybody's just kind of like, all right, let's watch the ball. Let's watch this play develop. And again, we're just not sharp. So if you go to the next frame, now the ball's out on the wing. And again, you've got, well, hold on. Go back one or two frames. Oh, no, it's not that one. All right, go back to the original one. There's a hilarious one with Pep in a minute. So now there are 3 Philly players making a break into the 18. I don't know what Harry Tuffalo is looking at or who he might be thinking about guarding. Zaha is moving over to get the guy with the ball, which he should be doing. But you got Westwood, you got Luka kind of tracking back, but not really in a haste. No one seems to be really picking up a man. It's all kind of like, oh, the ball's out wide now. Okay, cool. Let's just kind of like drop back into the 18, I guess. Pep, this is funny. I just realized Pep Yale, if you highlight him, what is he looking at? What is Pep looking at in this frame?
Yeah, I have no idea what he's doing down here.
So
he's looking back over here at somebody.
He probably should be, tracking back to get number 4.
Yeah.
But he's looking away from the play, and so I don't know where he's looking, which is hilarious because I highlighted again in a different frame. But now Philly are on a break, and no one seems to be defensively aware of what's happening. So if you go to the next frame, I do highlight Pep down at the bottom. Now he's looking the complete opposite direction, down towards the supporter section.
Yeah, like who could he possibly be looking at over here?
I don't know, man. It cracks me up. And again, Pep could do no wrong, but I love the dude. But I'm like, I thought it was hilarious. So which makes it even funnier because of the screen before, I didn't really catch that he was looking somewhere off. And again, he probably should be guarding number 4, but he's not. You got Abada. I don't know what Abada's doing. He's not tracking anybody. He's not even tracking number 9 to, he's not doing anything. Mm-mm. And that's the problem. We just completely turned off in the second half. Again, Tofolo, he's dropped back. I don't know. He is watching the ball. I don't, what purpose is that? Westwood is now kind of maybe tracking towards the winger. Also doesn't make sense that he would be doing that. Luka
Right.
has yet to go in any type of at any speed to get back, which really pisses me off. And so this ball gets played into Sullivan, who's number 6. And, he gets in that little pocket of space between Tim Ream and Tofolo because, again, Tim is ideally in a halfway, I guess, decent position. At least he's a center back and he's in the center of the field playing defense. Other than that, Morrison still is tracking back to get back in from where he won the header. But none of this makes sense to me. And so Sullivan, he's able to get a touch there and lace it off for the goal. But this comes off of a throw in.
Yeah.
And just lazy, lackadaisical play here.
Yeah. I mean, the touch by Sullivan was impressive, but you're right. I mean, it's led to, he shouldn't have been able to get where he was completely alone. I mean, there's like again, I feel like when we've done these in the past, there's been a lot of these where it's like there's 3 players kind of near a dangerous opposing player, but no one's actually doing anything about the dangerous opposing player. They're just kind of standing in space near him, and that allows him to be wide. Because obviously Ream and Morrison have to be watching these two. I went forward somehow. Have to be watching these 2 guys for Philadelphia. So they've got something they need to be paying attention to. So there's no way, this has got to be someone in the midfield, getting over to take care of this guy. And there's, behind him, there's 4 more Philly players that have no one near them either. So,
or Harry has to turn his head to say, okay, I've got a runner coming.
Right. Because there's no one
space.
else for him to deal with over here. Like there's nothing else going on.
Right. And I thought Harry has been playing great. I'm a big fan of Harry, but I know we kind of picked on him that one episode, where's Harry? But that was more offensively kind of.
Sure.
But this one, I'm very confused. Look around, pick up a runner, or Westwood has got to yell at Harry, or Lucas got to yell at Harry, hey, runner coming through. It's basic soccer 101. Like this, I just don't know why we turn off like this. So, And yes, maybe I'm nitpicking. I'm taking screen grabs and everything like that. But it's just, again, this comes from a throw in. It's lackadaisical defending, and it's happened quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
And that's concerning now that we're about to go on this. I mean, it's concerning in general, but these things you don't come back from on the road, or it's very difficult, I should say.
Yeah.
So just wanted to highlight those.
And to your point, we're nitpicking maybe a little bit, but like you said in this second half and throughout the game and other places too, Philly had some chances. This very easily could have been a draw, could have even been a Philly win if things bounce a certain way. So this is, we're pointing out the specific things that happened in this goal, and obviously we did go ahead and win, and so it was fine. But there's a lot of these little moments where we're not sound defensively, and it's leading to some chances. And again, if Philly finishes 1 or 2 more of these, it's a very different conversation we're having right now. So just some things to watch out for, some worrisome things. I'm glad we're able to overcome them and get some points when we need them, but definitely still some issues to be working out in that defensive piece.
Yeah, I was trying to look to see how many shots against we've had.
Oh yeah,
this year. Yeah, we are 1, 2, 3, 4. We are 5th in the entire league shots against. Orlando, who's god awful so far this year, they're first, and then it's Orlando, Montreal, Portland, Kansas City, and then us. So just lots of shots. Luckily, we've been okay, but it's something I think we just need to be mindful of. And sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you have really good goalkeeping, and that's the way it is. But luckily, we have some really good players on our team.
Yeah,
to make really good plays.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you want to get into stats, I mean, looking at the defensive stat rankings for us, and it's not great. I mean, it's expected goals conceded, we're 19th in the league, meaning that starting with the best as far as expected goals conceded. We're 19th. We have the most saves per match, which sounds like a good thing, but I actually don't necessarily think it is because we're putting a lot on Kalina having to make plays for us, which he does, and that's amazing. But yeah, you go through like tackles were 30th, possession won in the final third we're 25th. Like there's not some good defensive stats here. So again, just some things to kind of be watching as we're getting deeper into the season. Some of these things could come back and bite us in some places.
Yeah, Kalina has 32 saves. So, and that leads the league, which is not always a great stat.
Yeah. 5 saves per match when you break it down that way.
Yep.
And second place is Portland with 4.5. So that's a lot. That's a lot we're putting on Kalina.
Right.
So luckily though, this game was a draw for a very short period of time.
That's right.
Which I don't know. Maybe I was being very optimistic. Maybe I was waterlogged and not thinking straight. But like I did feel like as soon as we gave up that goal, I was like, we're gonna score pretty quickly. It just felt like we had they woke them up. It was another moment, and we talked about this in another game this season. I can't remember which one it was. But it was another situation where like their goal, I think, finally snapped the team into place. Be like, oh yeah, let's get back on this. Because the team that started playing after that goal was a very different looking team than we'd seen in those first 25 minutes of the second half there. So let's break this down. I think we only have one screen grab of it.
I just
so we don't have more to talk about. But
and this is the caveat. This is the caveat I said about the subs.
Okay.
We all know, Pep gets the ball and plays this great looping ball over to Zaha, right? We know that. We saw the goal. Zaha one time finishes this thing. Again, this goal does not happen without Luca Del Torre.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been his biggest proponent yet. I still think he needs a lot more time to get acclimated to the team. But this pass from the midfield, and he's surrounded by at least 2, you could even say 3 defenders from Philly. And they've clogged the middle. His ball out wide to Pep is amazing. Because again, this could have easily gone backwards, which we typically do. Play it safe, This ball could have also gone out to Nathan Byrne, which also probably would have been a decent ball. But what the difference is, I think, this year is we're playing more dangerous balls and more adventurous balls, I guess. And so this ball out to Pep was brilliant. You can't even see Pep in this frame.
No.
So it was a really, Luca could have played Westwood, who's in that gap too. But this was really great. And I want to call that out because I don't think Luca had that great of a game in general. We just called him out for maybe not tracking a man, and I don't think he's been all that good defensively, to be perfectly honest. But I do want to highlight this pass because this was great stuff. And you have 2 DPs on this team that can get shit done. Pep Biel might be our best signing that we've had. Now, I mean, you could throw Malanda in there, maybe Kalina, but I think Pep is a fantastic signing. And again, game after game after game, he shows you what the hell he can do.
100%.
And this little chip, he makes it look so easy. It's just like this little, I'm going to chip it over to my buddy Zaha, who's also going to hey, I'm going to one time this in. Most people trap that ball down, but no, he's Zaha. He's going to take it first time. So, and redeemed himself for the goal that he missed in the first half. So it was really awesome. And I jumped out of my chair down at the beach watching. And it just goes to show you, that's why you pay these guys.
100%.
Luca's not cheap either. So, I mean, just all around, that's why you brought Luca in, because he can make passes like that. And that's why you have Pep, and that's why you have Zaha. And that was the difference maker. That's why we didn't draw.
Yes.
So
I agree with you. And I guess it's what we were talking about earlier too, is I think that we're seeing these passes that show more familiarity, more understanding of where people are supposed to be. Because when you watch this in real time, and you can kind of see it in the screen grab we have, Luka didn't have that long of a time to make this decision to go out wide to Pep. It wasn't like he got on the ball, was able to look up, survey the field, and then went wide. Like he gets the ball and he's pretty immediately getting chased down by 3 defenders, and he looks up and makes a pat. He just makes a decision and goes for it. And that opens up everything else because Pep is all by himself out there, and opens up this huge goal scoring opportunity, which just felt like a amazing moment. I'm looking at a screen grab of that I won't share right now necessarily, but talk about poor defending here. What I love about the Zaha goal is how absolutely wide open Zaha is. Like, I don't know. I mean, again, that's the advantage of making quick passes and getting the defense kind of on their heels, is that they make bad decisions. And the bad decision they made was no one was paying attention to Zaha. There are 3 guys around Westwood. I guess he did score the first goal, but like he's not who you're worried about in this moment. There are 3 guys surrounding Westwood, and Zaha's just hanging out by himself in the back of, in the middle of the box, being like, "Come on, serve it up to me. Let's do this."
And I mean, Pep didn't like dilly daddle too much on the ball. I mean, he could have dribbled in, maybe take a shot, could have taken his time, let the play build up. But he's the type of player that's going to see something quickly. And he's a difference maker, and that made the difference. And again, what a great signing, and that's why you pay these guys that money. And Zaha again redeemed himself, and that's what we come to expect. These players demand more, and it just raises everybody's level.
Yeah. Do we need to? Not that I want to go from like a high to a low, but I guess we need to talk about the yellow card. Or should we talk about the yellow card on Zaha?
I think we should. Let's talk about it.
So I was trying to remember if that was before or after the goal. That was before. It was first half. What'd you think? I guess I'll just open it up to you. So Zaha gets his yellow card. It's his 5th of the season already. Which I was honestly kind of hoping he'd get it last game just to go fully 5 for 5. First 5 games, 5 yellow cards. Let's get it out of the way. And then like clean slate. Like I thought it'd be kind of funny. But he gets it in the 6th match. So close enough. 42nd minute. So he's out next week against Nashville, which will be big. We can talk about that. I think maybe there's some questions about it. We can talk about it kind of looking ahead to next week. Again, I was only watching it in the stadium. So you were watching the TV broadcast and maybe they showed some replays. Yeah, that seemed like an awful yellow card. Like Zaha sometimes or often deserves the cards he gets for what he does. This one felt very unlucky for him to get booked on this one and to be sitting out next match because of that situation. But what did you see?
It was a horrible call. Atrocious refereeing. The referee made a kind of a bad mistake early on, giving soft yellow cards to both teams. So it was kind of like, well, I got to give you one out. But it was Zaha's very first foul. It was not malicious. It was both of them like tug of warring to the ground. So I don't even know if it was, I mean, okay, you want to call a foul, great. But it's like, okay, it's a foul. They were both going for the ball, nothing crazy. Yeah. And what's insane is, of course, Zaha gets hacked. He's fouled. There's maybe a call, no yellow cards. Like it's insane. And then he makes his very first foul and gets a yellow card. And so the announcers were kind of like saying like, man, this is his first foul. And during the replay, they were like, there's really not much into that. Like, okay, it's just it's soccer. Yeah. It's soccer, man. Like they're gonna run into each other. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I understand why Zaha is so upset. The thing is, like, him getting yellow card like that, I'm okay with. Like, it's just bad refereeing. Yeah. When I have a problem is him picking up cards because he's talking at a referee. Right. I would say he's got to stop that, but there's nothing in his history that tells me that he's going to stop that. I just wish maybe it was less. But I can't blame him for getting a yellow card because it wasn't a yellow card. He just happened to have had all the rest of them. So I don't know. It was a horrible call.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying when he's deserved it. Like he definitely earns them when he gets, talking to a referee a little bit too much. So
Yeah.
I'd love to see they get cut down, but yeah, it's unfortunate to see that. I should have known it was coming because earlier in the match, when he got fouled, they actually called it a couple times. Like when when other players fouled him, they actually blew the whistle. I was like, oh, wow, they're calling fouls when Zaha goes down. Like this is crazy. This is a good thing. And I should have known that it was just leading up to that. Was he was going to get called immediately? I should have known.
Yeah.
But I was like, at first, I was like, oh man, he's getting a call here and there. Like let's see what happens. And then he gets that really soft yellow was really unfortunate.
I know we have some listeners and friends that are, referees or former referees, and I'd love to kind of get their take on it. But typically, what a referee will do, if it's your first foul, unless it's like egregious from behind, something super dangerous, you're not given a call for the first foul.
Right.
And that one was, I mean, again, if you go back and watch it, it's just a shit call.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
Yeah, it's crazy. And a yellow card. Like if you want to call a foul, okay. But a yellow card for that is just so stupid.
Yeah, and I feel like it's happened to us a couple of times this season. Not to get into a ref complaining situation, but there's been a few of those where it's like, I could question whether this is a foul, but it's definitely not a yellow card, and we're getting a yellow card for it. So sure. That's an unfortunate situation. So we'll miss Zaha next week.
We do lead the league in yellow cards.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us go.
Look at us. I wanted to talk about Abada, specifically his opportunity in the 82nd minute. I don't know if you had more things about Abada you wanted to talk about, but I mostly want to talk about that. He comes in, like we said, for Vargas in the 65th minute. Here's what I'll say. I'll say it in a positive way, and I'd be interested in your thoughts. I thought, by and large, Abada has played with more urgency and energy than he has in a while, and I've liked to see that. He's put himself in dangerous positions and had the ball at his feet and done some really good things. He cannot score a goal to save his life. And I think what was funny, I don't think I texted back in the moment because I usually don't put my phone out when I'm at a match, but I was saying that to Nate, who sits beside me. And about that time, I happen to have my arm up and I see a text come into the group chat from Matt. And I wish I had the exact wording in front of me. I'm going to see if I can stall long enough to find the exact wording because it was exactly what I was thinking as well. But something to the effect of Abada not being able to score to save his life. And so there was a moment in here. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Matt so says Abada can literally never score. That's all he said. You also added worst DP ever, but and that's probably that'd be an interesting conversation to have because that's a long list of people we could put up for that for that award. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, so in the 82nd minute, there's a little breakaway here. I believe was it Zaha that made the pass to him? Someone made a really nice through ball pass to open him up. Let's see. I'm going to watch a replay here. Yeah, Zaha gets the ball in around midfield, makes it a beautiful through ball pass. Abada makes the right one run, beats the defender, has a guy on his shoulder, but is basically one-on-one against the keeper. Again. And it's another situation where Blake had to go down to make the save, but he didn't have to it was right at him. It was in his frame. He just had to go down and get it. Yep. And it's just another situation where and there were several of these in the 6-1 win that we talked about where I was like, on the one hand, I was excited because Abada was getting in some good positions and putting some shots on, but they're not great shots. They're not the level that we need them to be. If he's going to be a DP, we need him to score some of those goals, and he just cannot score those goals.
Yeah, I don't feel bad just every episode bagging on him. I know he has some assist in some of the routes that we had, and to your point, I think the sense of urgency is there. I think, he's not starting, so he's trying to prove a point. And I've seen comments on social media about Abada's fine, got to be patient, yada, yada. He's played 60 plus games for us.
Yeah.
My patience is long gone. And you can make all types of arguments about this and that. Here's the fact. He's a designated player that sits on the bench most of the game.
Yes.
He lost his starting spot. A coach has determined that he's not good enough to start on this team. So why in the world? You can make all the arguments you want. You could say potential, where he came from, what he's capable of, blah, blah, blah. He is on the bench taking up a DP spot.
Yes.
And common sense tells you that cannot be a thing that happens on a club. I'm sorry. I want to be proven wrong. He's probably going to get a chance to do just that against Nashville, and I hope he scores 5 goals.
Yep.
And maybe if he scores, maybe that does something. But again, like, he's played 60 games. He's scored for us before. He's had assists before. He's started plenty of games. Like, at what point do you say, okay, like, you've had your shots? He has started because people have been injured and shit the bed. Like, I don't know what else to say, man. And like, again, we talked about difference makers. Pep Biel makes a difference almost every single game. Zaha, he'll miss opportunities, but he'll also make opportunities and finish off opportunities. Abada might get an assist during a 6-1 route.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And it adds up and it counts. I'm not saying that. But at a certain point, man, like, you are taking up a very valuable spot and costing this team a lot of money, and you're sitting on the bench. That should be the end of discussion. Defending him, I'm not entirely sure what people can say after that. Like, our head coach doesn't want him out there over Vargas.
Right.
So,
and he's been, if you think about it this way, he's been benched
twice,
multiple times, right? Like,
yeah.
Or I would say twice. That's what I was trying to say too. Is like, he coming out of this offseason, he clearly had done enough to be like, all right, we're going to give you the starting role again. Like, he started the first, was it 2 or 3 matches?
Yep.
So like, it wasn't like we continued on from last year and just let Vargas keep that spot. He lost it last year. He got it back, or at least the benefit of the doubt, I'll say.
He got the benefit of the doubt, I think, is what
to start it this season. And he made it 3 games, and it was like, no, that's just not, like, if we're going to be successful here, it's not with him in that role. And that's just, you cannot be a DP and that be the situation that you're coming in the last 25 minutes and or junk time to play. Like, if he wasn't a DP, I'd be like, you know what? He shows some promise. There may be something there. Let's keep him around and like develop him and see if we can get him in a good spot. Like, fine. He can't be a DP.
Sub, yeah. To your point, like, look at the spark he has coming off the bench. Okay, is that your DP? Is that what a DP is supposed to do? Come off the bench to play 15 minutes? That's crazy. That's insane. Because we have people that are maybe on Crown Legacy that could do more. And I will argue this. This Abada thing really aggravates me. I will argue this. You can get the same play and production. You could have got it out to Varsh. You could have got it out of Brandon Cambridge.
Oh yeah.
I will die on that hill that you could have got that same production that you're getting out of Abada now from them. And you're spending half the money. So it's crazy to me. But again, it looks like he's going to get an opportunity to play in a big game at home and really prove a point to people like me, to shut people like me up. And I hope he does. Yeah. But let's see it. He's had opportunities before and hasn't done it. So
no, to your point, he's had the chances. There's no more need to give him more chances. Now it's time to move on and figure something else out. Open up that spot for somebody else. Because it's not working. I've seen enough. And like, again, I want him to have success. Like, if he comes on and does well, like, I'm happy. I'm not mad that he's doing well. If he comes on and does well. But like, at this point, like, I don't need to see anything else. Even if he starts doing well, I still don't want him in that role in a DP spot. Like, if they want to restructure it to where he's not a DP anymore and he stays here, like, then fine, I could deal with that in a certain kind of way. But otherwise, like, I don't need him here in a DP spot anymore. And I thought we were done with him after the end of last season, and it makes sense why we necessarily didn't get rid of him. But like, I was hoping he was done last year, and here we are again.
And what's going to happen is he's going to score, and then all the Abada supporters will be like, see how great he is? I'm like, no, because it's one game, and he's played 60 plus games for us. This is like MLS games, not least nothing else. 60 plus games for us. This is not season 1 or season 2. This is multiple seasons, tons and tons of games, and just not. I don't know. So, but I hope maybe he'll score 3 or 4 this game and get rolling. But let's go. He's got one more opportunity this coming weekend, supposedly, maybe. So let's see what happens.
Maybe. I pulled up the actual stats. I didn't break it down by MLS versus other competitions, but yeah, I mean, we can do quick math. He's played 71 matches for Charlotte. And that includes all competitions. Total. That's everything. Yeah. Not just MLS. Yeah. He's played in everything he's played. And that's 14 goals and 6 assists. That's what he's produced in those matches. So
and you're getting 0 defensive anything.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. And then for Celtic, when he was there, he had 13 goals in a season, one season, 15 goals in a season, another season, 8 assists, 9 assists in those seasons. So to be coming here and getting 7 goals a season, a couple assists, that's not good enough.
Well, he got 7 goals, I think, the first season he was with us, right?
Yeah, 7 goals first, 7 goals second. Again, I'm not looking at different competitions. Yep. I'm just looking at overall. If I look at just MLS, he had 7 in MLS in 2024. He had 5 in MLS in 2025. Yep. So the other 2 goals came, 1 in Open Cup, 1 in Leagues Cup last year. And then 1 assist in MLS play last year. 5 goals, 1 assist in 34 matches in MLS. Like, I don't know what else you need to say.
It's great that's great if you're Tavares or Brandon Cambridge and you're a draft pick or a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
But he's 24 and lost a starting spot, and you're getting paid tons of money. Like, it just can't happen, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We got sidetracked by some Abada talk. Anything else from the match? We'll get into some questions, but anything else that jumped out to you that you wanted to talk about from the 2-1 win?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Ooh, I had one thought. I want to know if you noticed this. I meant to ask about it ahead of time and see if we want to talk about it. I noticed it in the first half, and you know how I'm not the biggest tactician here, but after the first goal, and I don't know if I've seen this as much this season, after we scored the first goal and went up 1-0, Westwood became like a third center back for the rest of the first half. Did you catch this at all? Because it was very noticeable to me seeing him out on the field. He was like all the way back. It would be, I mean, both in the attack and defensively, it was like Morrison, Westwood, and Ream were basically playing 3 center backs. Like he was. I'm not just saying he was like playing a deep midfield. He was online or sometimes the deepest man back. Have they done that other times this season that I just haven't caught as much as before? Or I just thought it stood out to me more in this match than it has in other matches, him playing that far back. And they didn't do it in the second half, it felt like. It kind of moved away from that. But that end of the first half, there seemed to be doing a lot of that kind of 3 center back situation.
Yeah, no, it's a good call out because he's definitely done that quite a bit. Some of that is just to come back and get him on the ball so he can start spraying balls around because he's good playing forward and everything like that. And it also tries to open up the fullbacks a little bit, and they could pinch in and take up space. So there's a little bit of game plan, I think, there. There's good and bad with that. But it's a really good call out for sure, because that is definitely something that I think we've done quite a bit, even last year too.
Maybe I just haven't noticed that extreme. It felt like very obvious to me this time, more so than him just playing deep. Like he was way, way back there a few times, but then didn't notice it as much in the second half. But anyway, that's all I had as far as the actual match. So that win puts us in 3rd place in the East, tied with New York City FC on points and Inter Miami on points. New York City FC technically has a tiebreaker with the goal differential. And we play the first place team in the East on Saturday. We actually play them twice in 3 weeks, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or twice in 3 games at least.
Yeah.
Nashville comes to town in what could be a really big one. If other results go our way and we get a win there, we're top of the East, 7 matches in. So it's a pretty big one coming up on Saturday.
Big test without Zaha. So we, beat a dead horse with Abada. This would be a great game for him to show up and make something happen. Man, Nashville's only had 3 goals against. They are beatable. Just proved that this past weekend. It's going to be tough, but you're playing at home, and so you got to get these points. A draw, I don't know, man. Like, wouldn't be the worst in the world, but at the same time, like, again, you got to maximize this home stretch and really get after it. And if this team is serious about being top 3, you got to win games like this. So,
yeah, absolutely. Because otherwise, the homestand. I mean, the Miami Ash was a tough draw. That's one I really hope we had to win. Wish we had a win there. But outside of that, I mean, this could be a really solid home stretch here that we needed after the way the season opened up. To really come home and get a bunch of points. So absolutely a big one on Saturday against Nashville. So we will be ready for that one. Also, I don't know what time zone my computer thinks I'm in, but it says it's 11:30 at night on Saturday. That's definitely not what time it is. It's 7:30. All right. Anything else before we get to some questions from our audience?
No, let's do it.
All right. Let me pull these up so we can dive in. We'll start with Russell. I have not pre-screened these, so I'm just going to dive into them. So we'll see what happens. Would you be okay with not re-signing Zaha if it meant playing time for Berchimas and or Aloko? Would you want to frame? I feel like I want to frame that question differently. Yeah.
No, I'd want to re-sign Zaha. I think we'll probably see Aloko at some point. So you don't need to do anything. I'm just saying.
Right. Not to beat a dead horse here. For people who still want Zaha gone for whatever reason, they don't like Zaha. Yeah. What can I say to them next time they say it to me in the stands so I have something to like I just don't understand how there seem anecdotally a lot of fans or a decent chunk of fans who don't want to see him here anymore. And I'm like, and replace him with what? Like, I don't understand it. If he wants to move on his own free will, like, and it makes sense for him in the summer, like, do his thing. But like, I don't want Zaha to go anywhere. Like, I want to see him on this team as long as we can keep him, and as long as he's happy to be here. So I don't understand the feelings there.
And I sure as hell wouldn't want to get rid of him now, because I think he's just now getting used to the team, getting used to the league, the referees, perhaps. So, and I do think his, don't want to get too personal, but I think his kids like it here. Mm-hmm. I think Dean and Zorn and everybody's basically said Charlotte is not like a huge destination for people, coming from overseas. But once they get to Charlotte, they love it. And players do. Westwood, another one. He absolutely loves it here. So I'd hate to see him leave. Yeah. And the production speaks for itself. And that's with him missing goals. Like, we've thought he's missed some chances too. And he draws fouls, and he, that's free kicks that we get. It's more to it than just goals and assists as well. He's going to pull defenders over. That leaves room for Pep. So I'd hate to see him leave. So no, I would rather us sign Zaha, and I don't think it's dependent on Berchimas or Aloko coming up. I think there's other paths for that to happen without Zaha leaving.
That's what I was kind of thinking too.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along. Nietzsche asks, do you agree with Dean that the first half was our quote best performance?
Well, that's a bold statement. Best? I don't know. It was very good. I think best if we would have scored maybe a goal or two, okay,
Right.
but we played very, very well. So I do understand kind of what he's saying. We controlled the ball, moved the ball well. We highlighted a couple things even for the goal. Best, I don't know. Not maybe close. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about it being a best thinking about the season, but you're right. I mean, that we did look good. We got the goal to go up 1-0. There were some other chances that we just didn't capitalize on. So they did play well, but not. I don't know if I would have thought it was our best after looking at some of the other performances, but it was definitely solid. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, let me keep scrolling down. I feel like we didn't have a lot of questions this time, so let me keep scrolling down here a little bit. Matt Chantry. How much should we really take away from that match, positive or negative, considering the conditions? So are you like, what are your kind of thoughts? Like, how much did the rain affect the actual outcome? Like, can we really take serious takeaways from this? Or was it like some, stuff happens because it rains? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think the weather was too much of a factor. I take away a lot of positives from this game. It may not sound like it from some of this stuff, but the fact that we didn't draw this game is a huge positive. And I think the huge positive is that our DPs came through and made individual plays, right? And that first goal was great. And we highlighted it. We're showing signs of this new progressive football that I think we've all been clamoring for. So, lots of positives. And sometimes these are even better than the routes because you show some fight and some character. To your point, Corey, you said, we kind of fought back pretty quickly. Yeah. And there was this feeling like, we can get one. We can get one back.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it didn't seem like, there's some slipping here and there, but it didn't seem like the conditions affected any major opportunities. So, the weather doesn't really change what I take away from the match there in that case either. So, all right. Up next, we got Russell. With Zaha out Saturday, would you rather Dean start Abada and Vargas out wide with BL in his usual position, or move BL to the wing with Vargas and have Luca De La Torre take BL's spot?
I think I would try to keep things the way they are, because if you start bringing Pep out wide, it really disrupts the flow, and I sure as hell don't want to do that against Nashville. Get too crazy with it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting sub wise, right? If that time comes, but man, Vargas and Bada's got to have a really good game.
Yeah, 1,000% agree. I mean, I think it makes sense to keep BL where he is. It's really working there. I don't want to mess up that midfield action happening there, and then put Abada out wide and hope he has a good match. From Charles. Oh, actually, before I get to that one, I actually meant to ask this one earlier. It's not really a question; it's more of a statement, which I've enjoyed Matt Nolan getting on this level with statements for our Q&A section.
I think I did see this one.
Please explain why this team will never lose again, with appropriate references to Liel Abada baked in. Thanks. Period.
I think he likes to poke us with the Abada references.
I enjoyed that. There's another similar question. I should go up and get. Bryant just said, "So we're never losing again, right?" So the vibes are good here.
Yeah, Bryant's riding high, man. Off that 6-1 thrashing where we got 5-0 and then another win, man. Yeah, and was he one of the ones that got to go down on the field? There was a couple of MCC folks that got to go down.
I'm not sure
on the field. Yes, he was one of the ones that got to go down on the field and hold the little flags and everything. That probably does nothing for anyone, but yes, Bryant, I think, got to go on the field for this game. So he's riding high right now.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yep.
All right. From Charles. Disjointed play in the midfield has been a recurring theme during the past couple of seasons. What is your take on the passing, connection, and cohesion of the midfield so far this season?
Really good question. I think we've highlighted kind of the good and the bad. The good was in the first half, and especially that that goal. I think, Pep back in the mix of things really changes the dynamic. But we've also seen, points where it is disjointed. Things are not coming off well. I could think back to that Galaxy game and some other points. But it's kind of been a mixed bag. But I think it's trending in the right direction, which is good.
I agree. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it's better than it has been in the past, and we're moving the right direction with the midfield being more solid. So totally agree there. All right. We've got conversations about birds on here. Let's keep skipping ahead. Matt Jones says, Wolf made reference to this, but I feel like we should have dominated Philly. Are we a team that plays down to our opponent?
I think there's evidence to support that. If we want to talk about your Tar Heels, Corey, I feel like at least back in the day, that was definitely a theme that Carolina would really could go toe to toe with anybody, right? As strong as they are. But then when they play a team that they should absolutely mop the floor with them, they kind of do take their foot off the gas. And there is definitely a lot of evidence to that. It could have reared its head in this match. We were up 1-0. We kind of dominated the first half. We're moving the ball well. Everything's easy peasy. Philly sucks, right? They haven't won a game. And then we just took our foot off the gas and didn't play up to our standards. Right. That's what you got to do. You got to play up to your standards. It does not matter who you're playing. But also too, we won this game, and sometimes that's all that matters. But it's a really good question, really good call out.
Yeah, I feel like we are a team that rarely dominates inferior teams, which makes things more stressful. It does. Because it makes for a lot more close matches and matches that maybe shouldn't be close. The only thing I'd push back on is, again, yes, Philly's had a really bad start. Maybe they are as bad as it seems like they are. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking back to last year Philly, and so this doesn't feel like as playing down to a bad team as it maybe would if we were playing winless Toronto or something, not Toronto this year, Toronto of past years, or Montreal of past, things like that, where it's a real bad team that struggled. This feels a little bit different, but either way, when we play bad teams, we do not always come out and just dominate in the way we probably should. We let other teams hang around for too long.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. All right. Our last question is from Eric Hill. And you asked a clarifying question, which I appreciate in the Discord here. If you're not in the Discord, I'll do the plug now. Find us on Patreon, Min City Soccer Show. Pay us a few bucks a month. You get in the Discord. You can ask questions. We chat about matches and all kinds of other things going on during the week. We do soccer and coffee occasionally. We have occasional bonus episodes, so you can check all that out there. It's cheap, but it helps support the show. And that's where we pull all of our questions from for our weekly episodes. All right. So Eric Hill, there's been a number of discussions on ranking the individual kits we've had. What's your ranking on kit combos by year? And he's saying we're not including the third Lightning kit. So when he says kit combos, he means your primary and your secondary kits for each season. So right now ours is the black and then the whatever we're calling the season 1 remix. What is that one called? Does it have a name?
That's the official word.
Season 1 remix. Well, it has a name. Crowns. Is it the Crown something? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So combining the two together, what's the strongest kit combo in your opinion?
I think the Explorer and then Fortress kit, which is the mountain, one, and then the black Fortress kit. I think that's been my favorite combo.
I think that's the obvious one. I can make a case just because I don't know. No, I can't really make a case for it. I was thinking about the first season with the blue and the mint, just because I really like the mint a lot. And I think we're going to end up. I know people have some thoughts on this year's kit, and I get it. I totally understand. But that kind of blue is going to kind of become that classic look for us, I think, with that blue and the white sleeves.
And it should be. Yeah, I'm okay
so I
with
think
that.
in retrospect, like the blue and the white, and then with the mint jersey is going to be a nice combo to start out with. But I think as far as like my favorite kits, like the combo of Fortress and Explorer is just head and shoulders above anything else.
Yeah, and also too, have we lost with the new blue kit yet?
That's a great question. I don't
think that we
because
have.
we didn't wear it in any of the away matches, did we? I don't think we did. Let me look. Let's see if I can quickly find this.
I'm pretty sure we wore the Fortress kit against LA Galaxy. And that's the only one that we, so
that's the only
it.
loss we've had. So yeah,
we are undefeated in the new jersey, and I'm telling you, if we make a playoff push or we win this thing, that kit then jumps to the top, right? It's memories that are associated with it. But
yep,
yeah. But I you brought up a good point. Like I'm okay with that kind of classic blue and white sleeve thing. I'm teams do that all over the world.
Yeah.
Call it boring, whatever you want, but I think it's classy, and I like the new kit.
Yeah, I like it. It's also like I like the way it's made too, like the material and all that. It's great.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's really, really, really cool. The collar, maybe they could have just done the full crowns on it instead of the weird. Like I get what they were going for, but yeah, there's some jokes in there with it, but we won't tell those on air. So. Speaking of, before I forget, did you get your season ticket box?
I did. I don't know if you can see it very well. My radio is right behind me here in front of the goalie gloves. I got the radio and I got the coin hanging out somewhere over there too. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah. Yep. Did you know on the back, if you scan that, it goes to the Charlotte FC playlist?
I was wondering about that. I haven't scanned it yet, but I was wondering if it did that. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the coin.
Mm-hmm. The coin is nice.
Is the Scary Queen.
Yeah.
Do we have is there like an official, I should probably know this. Is there an official name for her? Or is she just called the Queen?
Not one that I've ever seen. I like Scary Queen. She's probably just called the Queen though. The White Queen? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. This is fantastic. If anyone who's involved in the team just happens to be listening to this podcast an hour and 22 minutes in, I doubt it, but this is great. Well done on the coin. Please keep doing the coins, because I think that never underestimate the power of tradition and nostalgia. People like tradition.
I love the coins.
The coins you have to keep doing every year. Maybe you've painted yourself into a corner, but people were pissed that they didn't think they were getting a coin this year.
Yeah, I'd heard that rumor that there was not going to be a coin, and I was upset because I like to. I mean, I need to rejigger them now because I have too many coins and not enough spaces for them. But I like having those to put in a frame and to kind of track each year and look back at them. So yeah, I love the coins, and yeah, I'm sure it's probably a pain to produce that for season ticket holders every year. But like, you started it, I need you to keep doing it because I want my coin every year.
And just a kind of a sidebar, if you are from the team and you're listening to this episode an hour and 23 minutes in, please do better with communicating to everybody, because these scarves went out, which we made a joke about last episode that I was on. But that was just for the club level folks. No one knew that. I didn't know that. And then everybody's like, well, the scarf's great, but where the hell's the coin? Blah, blah, blah. And then everybody gets mad, not knowing that the coin is coming because the team didn't communicate that it was running late. There was a manufacturing issue. So just, maybe do that better.
Communication helps.
Yeah, the coin, the radio, the rug, and the scarves. I mean, that's a lot of things, man. And so, like, I think that's really, really cool, and it's unique. So, and I think they've done the hat could maybe do without from last year, but it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. No, I thought this package was good. I literally got it today and opened it up. The girls were very excited about their scarves, so that was good.
Nice.
And then I thought the radio was a cool little thing. Like, I don't know how it actually sounds. I haven't played anything on it. But it looks cool. I like the retro radio vibe to it. And it looks neat. I like the coin. The rug, got to get a figure where we're going to put that, but that's a cool idea too. So I think it's some good stuff. I will say, I feel like a lot of people probably have read it, but talking about kind of the Queen and the video stuff. Matt's over there messing with the speaker.
Sorry.
There was an interview. Was it in this past Friday's Charlotte Ledger with Carol Walton? But there's an interview, kind of a Q&A thing with the person who kind of does the game day in stadium, everything, just about like how they've approached this year and doing the intro videos a little bit differently, like we talked about, and some of the pyrotechnics and stuff like that. So that was a cool little interview. Again, if you kind of want to like hear about how they've approached it, like they even talked about why they've done the trumpet player from the symphony every week, some of that, where that came from. So thought that was pretty cool to look at. If you haven't read that yet, go find that on Charlotte Ledger. Give some insight into kind of how they're approaching it. And also what I liked about it is it talked about some of the stuff came from fan feedback. I mean, even stuff that I know that I've said on here and that me and Phil have complained about separately with the anthem and how it gets, to where no one knows where we're at and everybody's off in the stadium and it sounds like garbage. I think they literally heard that feedback, and that's why they have a trumpet player and they keep them mic'd the whole time so you can still hear them. Everybody's on the same page. So cool that they're thinking about it each year. Like how do we improve on what we're doing? How do we listen to fans, make the experience better? I think they're doing a really good job this year of some of that, in game, especially pre-game atmosphere.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When we scored the goal, did you notice, was there a song that played? Or did they not do that? Or did you not notice?
They played a song, but now that you mentioned it, I can't remember what it was.
Okay,
do you know what it's supposed to be? Because I can tell you if it was that or not.
I don't know the song off the top of my head, but I know there may be a song now every time we score. I can give you that.
I feel like I remember it being the same song each time, but now I can't remember what it was.
Okay. I was just curious because I wasn't in the stadium, so I don't know.
Okay.
What it is, but yeah, there's possibly a song when we score a goal.
I'll pay attention. I feel like I remember seeing something about that too. So, but yeah, just some cool little pieces that they are putting together, making the experience great in the stadium. I think they did a good job. And again, a shout out to the fans who especially hung out in the rain and made that a fun environment, even when it was fairly empty, which I get. People diving under cover because they weren't expecting a rainstorm in the middle of that game. Totally respect it. My family did it too. But it was fun. The people who stayed out and just got rowdy. It was a blast in the stadium. I still had some really good energy. So that was a lot of fun and helped the team to a 2-1 victory.
Yeah.
Anything else from you before we head out and get ready for Nashville on Saturday?
No, I think that's it. That's all I got in my notes. I better not say that. There might be some fun. Never mind.
I feel like you're doing a lot of teasing in these episodes.
That was the worst.
There might be a song that plays when we score goals. I don't really know how to say that. And then you just dropped us like, well, no, I won't say that. You're teasing us here at the end. So
we'll just see what happens.
I feel that. I will say, since Matt Nolan was posting all of his Michigan photos from the championship game, Michigan's looking pretty good so far. We're a little after halftime as we're recording this. So. Okay.
He posted that in our Discord, and I said, "Sir, this is a Wendy's." That's an old school reference right there.
Yes, it is. We purposely did not make a million channels in this one, so we can't talk about college sports. But Matt Nolan hijacked it with a bunch of Michigan imagery on here. So they're looking pretty good.
That's cool. That's cool. He's at the game though. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. UNC transfer Elliot Cadeau is having a great game. Too bad he's at Michigan now. All right, that's enough college basketball talk for now. Matt, always fun. Thanks everybody for listening. Again, check us out on Patreon to get into the Discord, do all that fun stuff, ask questions, chat about the matches, all the fun that we have in there. We really appreciate the support for everybody that does that already. And with that, we will talk to you guys later.
See ya.